welcome back to Bridgerton. In this video, I kind of want to fill out this area here. So I want to experiment with layers. And I saw Larry Skylines' recent new city building series that he's doing that he's never done before. You should check it out, by the way. But I'm gonna do what he's doing in his city and kind of dedicate this area after him. And that's just gonna be a nice, simple, one-by-one neighborhood. So let's hop right into it so I can kind of show you what I mean by that. The first thing we need to do is prepare the ground for the development that's about to occur here. I envisioned this area to be stacked upwards in layers. I wanted the hill to be a big part of this community where I can build virtually anywhere. In order for me to do that, I need to flatten out what I would call steps so I could logically place buildings along the hillside without hurting my head too much. Looking at you, San Francisco. I think the biggest challenge is going to be transitioning from one step to the next without logic being defied too much. Now that I kind of got the layers kind of situated, I want to get some roads laid out on here, so let's take care of that real quickly here. My next step is to do a road layout and figure out where the roads are supposed to go. I started with the most logical roads by following the modified terrain. The most challenging part of this portion of the build is figuring out where to connect each of the layers. Grades are probably steep, but the distance aren't long enough, and these are all local roads, so it should be okay to build these. I built some grids on the flat portions. I also decided to place a big box retailer to fill in this empty space by the freeway. Alright, we got a pretty crazy road layout here. I started out with kind of just following the layers, and I went up and then tried to connect them in logical locations, but they're not the most logical, and that's okay. We'll kind of figure it out as we go along. And then I filled in some space down here. We will get this filled in. It's gonna take a while. But in the meantime, I did try to fit in a Home Depot here, which I think actually fits in this location pretty well. We got plenty of clearance from the freeway, so we should be okay there. I did create traffic, so that's always something, I guess. And now we got traffic coming to this side too, so we can actually see how this intersection performs when faced with higher traffic volume, but we seem to be doing okay right now. The next goal for this is to, well, get water pipes laid out underneath here, and looks like we're gonna need another water tower here pretty soon, so we might as well put it in the most logical place right on top of the hill here, and that's where we're gonna put it. And we'll fill this out, and I will also try to fill this in with residential and probably some commercial here and there. And remember, it's going to be a 1x1. So it can be like 1 wide 2 deep, or 1 wide 3 deep, or 1 wide 4 deep. But most of this is going to be 1x1. So every single thing I put in here is going to be 1 unit wide. So let's fill this out. Well, I figured I'd give you an update, and it's going really, really slowly. Oh, it's painful. This is really painful to do. Like, you have to set each building by themselves. Oh, Larry, how do you do this? This is torture, man. This is straight up torture. I just have this little area filled out, and I still got all of this to go. Oh. Alright. Well, you're gonna watch me slowly lose my mental sanity throughout this video. I hope you enjoy. This is a nightmare. I've been recording for an hour and 10 minutes. And half of that has been just trying to fill this out. Oh. Here we go again. This area is not that large normally, but with 1 wide buildings, all of a sudden this area becomes humongous, and I didn't realize that before starting such a massive project. Overall, I spent 5 hours working on this area here alone. If you don't know me well enough, I run out of patience when something takes way too long to do. And this project tested my patience many times, but I am glad I got the chance to experiment with this building style. I decided to show you the process that I had to go through to get this area set up properly to have one-wide buildings. In the gridded areas, I left enough room to have a pedestrian path between the houses so it's not all the same. I also added in some retaining walls between the layers to essentially hold back the soil that inevitably wants to spread out. I could do a lesson on lateral earth pressure. Should I? Okay, let's begin, class. Lesson 1. The lateral earth pressure formula. No, I won't torture you with knowing the formula to determine the lateral earth pressure that the retaining walls need to resist. Let's just assume they work flawlessly. I think that's a good idea, and that way I don't have to go into an in-depth explanation of why this works, and I don't think you want to watch me try and draw what I'm explaining. Let's just move on. I added another connection on the far side of the development back to the highway so I can try to alleviate some of the traffic. I also made a small highway entrance that can only be accessed on one side of the freeway to also allow more traffic to flow throughout this development. The roads are really narrow here, and I didn't realize just how narrow they were, so I changed the roads over to one-way streets and redid the entire road system.
Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 yeah, go. Hustle hard, hustle every single day. I'll be making moves till I'm buried in my grave. To the system, I don't wanna be a slave. I've been doing shit my way, or the highway. And in the driveway is a nice range. Cause I grind through the climb, I invite pain. You'll never hear me, bitch, nah, I don't complain. Just gotta flip the switch and you can go and obtain anything you want, anything you need. Your mind's got the key ingredient, it's belief. They're deceived with the negativity, but I just slide right by that energy. Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go. You got a mind, but even that could change. You could flip the gray matter like some batter in your brain. That's why they say, fake it till you make it A. And if you play that game, then you just might make a change. Rearrange all the bad to okay. Take the worst thoughts saying, turn them to a game. Take the best thoughts saying, put them on display. On repeat in your brain till you're feeling no more pain. Never slow yourself down, you can do some more. Push past all the pain and you'll find a door. Open it up and finally explore everything that you thought you could never do before. And even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go. Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go.
And, with all of that completed, let's take a look at the transformation that has occurred within this area. Wow! An untouched hill transformed into a bustling, layered neighborhood. I'm not quite finished with this area yet, as I want to come through and sprinkle some trees throughout, but I ran out of patience and need to step away from Bridgerton for a couple of days. This area will be decorated before the beginning of next episode, so make sure you stay tuned for that. I hope you enjoyed this concept that I borrowed from Larry Skylines. Make sure you go check out his new series, where his whole city will be this concept that I just built in this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to both Larry Skylines and myself. I will see you soon.